Thank you very much. It is our pleasure to meet you everybody here and to have presentation. This is Joanna, I'm Marcin, we are working at the University of Lodz and we conducted research on this project. We would like to present to you some basic conclusions coming from the research conducted as a part of ACT GUIS project. In the presentation, we would like to answer the general question how ACT can be an effective tool to improving the inclusive education for new arrivals in the European Union. But our answer will be just one of the many possible, because this question is about one of the main problems in the contemporary education, to which many ideas are solved. Our presentation plan will be as follows. We will present you basic research assumptions, methodology, cases, cross-country analysis, and we try to answer the general questions according to the title. Our research problem, because every time at the beginning of research is a question, and our question was how we can use ACT, intergenerational learning, and theory of empowerment to reduce early school leaving phenomenon. And this problem refers to the people and society and is rooted in the culture. Therefore, to find the answer to this question, we used mixed research approach, conducted qualitative and quantitative research simultaneously. This research are based on data coming from the survey, photos and partners' experiences shared with us during international meetings. We have decided to use photos because, according to famous Danish researcher Knud Illeris, learning goes in cognitive, social, and emotional dimensions. And for example, in the photos, we have been looking for emotions which are more important than we thought so far. And for example, we look at the tables arrangements and people situations, where are people situated. Because this is important, this learning space is important for outcomes. In our research, we have received 281 questionnaires. As you see, there are significant differences in the numbers from each cities, but we are far from variance in this way that more is better, because we are certain that after almost 3 years of our cooperation, every partners did their best. And we know that sometimes it's very hard to encourage people to complete the questionnaires. So these differences maybe comes from some other reasons what were independent for the partners. It's also important that in the table we have participants who completed the questionnaires, not all participants who have been taking part in the courses. So probably more people participate in the courses than complete the questionnaires. What else? Probably partners have been doing something more, what is visible in the data, but even if they have been doing something interesting, something additional activities, but we have no sight of this in this questionnaire, we were not able to take it into our account. And now we move to the cases. Now we will start from the Göteborg, who is our coordinator of the project. And Joanna, we will continue.
Yes, I would like to present some highlights of our research carried in Sweden in Göteborg. The first slide is a very short overview of our selected stats. In Göteborg, there was 3 courses in total. And our survey in Göteborg has been filled in by 22 pupils, young immigrants, 8 seniors, 7 teachers, and also 5 representatives of authorities responsible for immigrant youth support. Age of immigrant youth that took part in the courses was between 12 and 16 years of age. One of the areas we look closer at during our research within the project were ICT preferences of ICT among the elderly, with the aim trying to find out what is the role of ICT in the senior's life. Our research showed the most popular ICT devices among the elderly in Sweden are mobile devices, meaning phones and tablets. Our research also showed mobile phones and tablets are at most used by the elderly for communication, and notebooks and tablets and iPads for entertainment. So the blue bar is for communication, green for entertainment. No surprise with youth preferences with ICT devices. The mobile devices are used by immigrant youth for communication. The blue bar, notebooks, tablets for learning. The purple bar. In focus of our research, we were also trying to identify outcomes and course impact onto youth towards the elderly, trying to find out the process of intergenerational learning between these 2 age groups. Nearly half of young course participants agreed and strongly agreed with the statement about willingness to cooperate in some ways with seniors they met during the course. Also, over 50% strongly agreed that the course helped them to develop positive relation towards seniors. The impact of the course is also visible when looking at this data. 72% of youth strongly agreed to have the feeling of belonging to the group of friends in the neighborhood, and nearly 50% of them agreed the course prepared them for adult life. The third big impact of the course is visible with improvement of comfort level with cultural differences of immigrant youth. The course have got, however, the biggest impact onto youth communication skills, language, and onto being able to talk with others. So with this we mean attitude towards others, including communication skills. Other big impact of the project is visible when looking at the self-confidence of youth that also raised. There is no surprise the course didn't affect youth writing and reading skills, the orange bar, but it was not the aim of the project. When looking at youth's attitudes towards the school after the courses, first we noticed youth have got the feeling others at school would agree they are better after the better student after the course, and nearly 73% agreed taking part in the project, in the courses, motivates them to do better at school. Also, half of them agreed and strongly agreed that doing well at school is important for their future life. Another important impact of the project, half of them agreed the course impacted their responsibility towards school's obligations, school tasks, working at school also independently without teachers. Our research shows the role of ICT in intergenerational learning in Sweden is changing the essence from catalyst, initiator of intergenerational learning, towards facilitator of intergenerational learning. Another finding is that ICT facilitated knowledge exchange. The elderly, for example, wanted to exchange knowledge about Sweden. Youth wanted to share their knowledge how to use iPads. What was surprising, for example, for us, the elderly's motivation to taking part in the courses was not that much to improve their technical skills, so ICT skills, but they wanted first to help young people to succeed in life in Sweden, and they wanted also with the courses have the opportunity to talk and meet that younger immigrant youth generation. Not only the quantitative data, but also the qualitative data proves that the self-confidence raised by immigrant youth in Sweden throughout the courses. Seniors noted it and told us, for example, during the courses I experienced an increase self-confidence in the students. So we left the translation and left how it was said originally. Sometimes there are small mistakes. Or another person told us, I believe the students felt needed and got some insights about us old people. There is no doubt it was very nice for them to teach us elderly. And youth also told us after the course is finished, before the course I felt a bit happy, now it feels amazing. Before the course I was not sure about myself, now I am very happy with myself. First I was nervous, now I feel proud. In the beginning, I was not sure. I'm doing well, everything correct, but now I'm pleased with the work I done seniors in the course. I feel good, and I am proud of myself. So our research in Sweden shows the tendency to understand the intergenerational learning among not related generations as learning about each other. This was underlined by seniors giving knowledge of ICT as a secondary priority to the interactions. In the understanding of the immigrant youth. You told us to share information about homeland traditions, family. The ICT knowledge gave you the confidence to interact with seniors on equal level. ICT facilitated the better interaction and understanding between immigrant youth and the seniors, breaking down the stereotypical views and nullifying any cultural differences during the interactions. And we also were looking a little bit closer at the empowerment. I showed on 2 slides before several examples how the course empowered youth. But what we assumed also in our research that intergenerational learning with ICT is a significant sociocultural platform for knowledge exchange and empowerment. And both young immigrant pupils and older adults describe their interactions with others as a power to change their life situation and exchange of knowledge that might help each other. So the seniors attributed their empowerment to the desire to influence the immigrant youth in respect to help young people to improve language skills and to start their life in the new country. So it was empowered from internal belief to change external circumstances. And pupils attributed their empowerment to their existing knowledge and the willingness to share their own technical knowledge and skills, for example, how to use tablets, smartphones, with older generation.
Thank you, Joanna, and I will continue with Madrid. What is maybe important, what we are presenting now, it's only the part of outcomes, and if you are interested more, you are welcome to read the summary report, which we have prepared. And one more information, as a case study, we use cities or countries' names, but in fact, this is not about countries or cities, but about courses conducted by cities. So the cases are courses, not cities or country, but to take it simply, we use Madrid, Sheffield, Göteborg. Now Madrid, our host of the seminar. From Madrid, we have 79 questionnaire. The largest group of participants were girls in the age of 14 and boys in the age of 16. Other age groups were similar in size. Pupils were asked about their imagination of the perfect school, and the main purpose of this question was to look pupils' imagination over and check if ACT tools are present in their idea of perfect school, and in which way. As you see, there are only 3 answers directly conducted with ACT, and we can think that it's few. But on the other hand, this is information that ACT, in the case of pupils, are associated more with entertainment than with education. And most pupils did not ever think about ACT in educational context. This thesis is visible on this diagram when entertainment as the ACT role in pupil's life is in the highest position. The next places are communication, and only the third place is learning. You can clearly see that mobile phones and Wi-Fi are most often used. It means that in education, especially in informal, non-formal education, we should concentrate on these 2 tools because they are the most often used by pupils. And now we have seniors' frequency of ACT using, which is different from pupils. When you compare, this is pupils' frequency, this is seniors' frequency. In the case of pupils' frequency, we can draw a concave line. You can use imagination, this is something like that. And in the case of seniors' frequency, the line is completely different. So the question is how to meet these different expectations. And the answer is not simply we try to answer, but we will present you in the end of the presentation. And in the case of almost 60% of participants, the role of ACT has changed after the course. And how to interpret it. This high percentage provides maybe that it's worth to carry this project out, and we ask, wow, why has changed? The participants answer as follows, and you can read it. So I think it's connected with empowerment, and the ACT tools are convenience tools for realization of empowerment idea. It seems to me that courses conducted by Madrid more meet students' expectations than seniors. You can compare these answers. And in the students' opinion, they were closer to the expectations were closer to outcomes, and from the idea of this project, maybe it's good because this project was about firstly about the pupils, as I understand it. In this question, we looked into pupils' sense of effectiveness, and the sense of effectiveness is in some sense conducted with the empowerment too. But in the case of seniors, they gave only few answers, but what does it mean? I think seniors didn't really know what to expect before the courses. This is why it is difficult to compare their expectations with the results. So to sum up, Madrid, I think, well done. Many results are visible now, and many are postponed and emerge in the future. Now Berlin.
Yes, again, some stats about the research in Berlin. There was 14 immigrant youth and 12 seniors that filled in our baseline survey. And the age of group, the group of age was between 14 and 15. Yeah. Similar to the elderly in Sweden, the elderly from Berlin preferred mobile phones for communication, audiovisual systems and tablets for entertainment, and that preferences didn't change that much. I mean, the course didn't change these preferences and that much. Again, there is no surprise. Youth is using ICT devices like tablets, notebooks, iPads, mainly for entertainment and communication. The role of ICT in intergenerational learning was perceived by seniors in Berlin as a good start point to make first contact, cooperate, lead common activities. For example, one of the seniors told us ICT gives us the opportunity to get in touch and to get to know each other. This would help young people to find meaning in their work, and I could share my experiences with them. Another person said through ICT, young people can see that they can do something and teach someone, so maybe they can see that it is worth to do something with someone like me. In our research, we included data not only from the elderly and youth surveys, but also from teachers' surveys and from the surveys that were filled in by immigrant youth support staff. Using ICT in school learning was a very significant and recurrent topic of the discussions with the interviews, because with the teachers we made such semi-informal interviews and conversations. Also with the youth during when we were visiting the courses once for a while, we've got also opportunity to talk with youth. So youth related ICT tools to the school subjects and types of activities. Teachers, however, saw in distance learning opportunities for young to succeed in school. So what might mean, in our opinion, ICT have got a potential among immigrant youth to succeed in school because of what teachers told us, but also what youth emphasized. We were also trying with the research to find out reasons for early school leaving among immigrant youth. So the teachers told us, in their opinion, the main reasons for early school leaving of immigrant youth in their schools are like not efficient parental support of young people, not enough quick action and reaction of school when the first signs of early school leaving appears. It was the same question we asked youth. So youth was referring their early school leaving opinion to interpersonal relations in the school itself and lack of motivation. So their motivations. So they were selling their own friendly pairs. That's why I don't want to go to school, or because I was tired, I am dropping off sometimes my school. Too much stress brings nothing good, so I stay at home. We were also focusing with our research onto, we wanted to find out the recommendations of youth and seniors for the next course editions, or just how it is to work within with them both generations groups when one generation is teaching, the other is learning. So having the experience with intergenerational learning, after the courses, people gave recommendations regarding best ways of interacting with seniors when explaining usage of mobile devices. For example, explain slowly and cheerfully, with cheerfulness and slow explain. Have someone around you that maybe the seniors would like to learn something from us. A good explanation and showing them would help. The seniors, regarding the courses, they told us pupils need to be able to learn. to learn with seniors, they said they need patience, interest, open-mindedness, ability to speak a little bit German, interest in adult life. Yes, so now next case study, Sheffield.
From Sheffield, we have received the richest data, the questionnaire 103, and this number comes from about 1 month ago, and now there is more. But we had to say in some moment stop and try to analyze, and we are not able to add endlessly. So Sheffield, we know that today there is more questionnaires, but we had to stop and start to analyze. So yeah. And the largest group were girls of the age of 15. Another group seems to be similar to each other in the size. In the case of seniors, participants between 60 and 69 constituted the largest group. Similar to other countries, the most used are mobile phones and Wi-Fi. The third place took audiovisual systems. Seniors use other the most. You can see almost 100%. And when we ask to specify what they mean under other, they wrote DAB, digital audio broadcasting, or typical radio receiver. The role of ACT tools, I think, results not only from or not so much from pupils, here we see pupils, personality or expectations, as from ICT properties. Simply, some of ACT are more suitable for entertainment and other for cooperation, and so on. And here we have seniors, and I think taking into account previous diagrams, we can draw a conclusion, maybe interesting conclusion, that the same generations from different countries are more similar that different generation from the same country. Yeah, what I mean that teenagers from Sheffield, for example, are more similar to teenagers from Berlin than to other people from Sheffield. I think it's something about globalization, but for the project and for the intergenerational learning, it's good because this international differences or intergenerational differences enable to learn because of interest of each other. And to the question, has the role of ACT tools in your life changed after the course? Many participants replied yes, and we did not ask in what sense the role has changed, but it is possible to conclude indirectly, and I think it means that after the courses, pupils paid more attention to educational dimensions of ACT using, but seniors on entertainment, not only on communications. Courses to the large extent met pupils' expectation when we compare these answers and questions. And it's also a characteristic that pupils think, we have it here, that pupils think that they learn more from that seniors learn more from they than they from seniors. It means that pupils put themselves in the role of teachers, maybe the first time in their life, and took responsibility for teaching. And it's connected with pedagogical wisdom that if you want to learn something, try to teach it. Yeah, and after these experiences, I think that it will be positive impact on their future education, and also fits into the empowerment idea. This positive impact is especially liked when we look at this diagram. For almost 60% of pupils, opinion about education has changed in the sense that they perceive it as a more value in their life. The same situation is in the case of intergenerational learning. As we have written in the summary report, the idea of the intergenerational learning has arisen at the British University, and I think these courses were a good example of this idea implementation and continuation. Yeah, and now, because we have to keep time regime, the cross-country analysis, to sum this up, we can say that for people of all ages, ACT tools are attractive and useful, but they play a little different role in participants' life. ACT are present in every dimensions of human being, but and in the future they will dominate in the education. That is the reason why it's worth to taking activities like this ACT Guys project to better understand of ACT Guys using. I think what is more important, that is something what we can call as a ACT or technological maturity, because pupils use ACT in reproductive way, only operate, use as craftsmen, not like engineer or artist. And ACT maturity is important, given that the mobile phones that we have today now in our pockets have more power and more possibilities than computers used by American NASA for the first man landing on the moon. Could you imagine it? Yeah. So the power so this power should be responsibly used. And what is needed? The activities and idea how to do it. And in the future, we should develop pupil maturity, which could be a part of personal development, where educators should looking for the key to solve the ACT to early school living problem. Thank you very much. As I have said, if you want some more data, you are invited to read the report.
Thank you. Bien, con esto cerramos esta mesa. Luego, un poquito más adelante, podréis formular preguntas para que sea un poco más ágil. Y bueno, pues la mesa siguiente la va a presidir mi compañera, María Asunción. Yo os dejo un poco descansar de mi presencia.